Hi guys, my name is Denis Yuzhakov. I'm one of top managers of Lingua24 translation agency, and today let me speak about one more decentralized state, one more crypto state, which called Decenturion. I think the name is you can understand from the name. It's decentralized state, is based on blockchain, and today I would like to propose you to see a short video about manifesto of this state, or what are they proposing. It's really interesting. It's really interesting business startup aggregator, especially in crypto sphere, in blockchain sphere. I understand blockchain is future for the most of businesses. So today I would like to propose you to watch this information about Decenturion, and to find out what is it. So let's go.
Manifesto Decenturion. Preamble. Humanity has always looked for opportunities and ways to make the world more harmonious and productive. Its constant search for solutions, as well as their implementation and development, require enormous resources. This is the great power of evolution. Those who take this path make history. Those who are in the way become the past. The invention of the wheel, the invention of electricity, and the creation of the internet are individual examples of the humanity's steps towards a dream. In the 21st century, new technology has emerged that has changed the world. It's blockchain. The method of distributed data storage started its way from the decentralized replication of Bitcoin transactions, but very quickly went beyond the limits of cryptocurrencies. Blockchain opened up vast possibilities for solving other issues in one way or another related to information. Countries began to transfer services related to economics, management, and law to blockchain technologies, and then no doubt that the world will continue along this path. Some regulators noticed that blockchain threatened the status quo and tried to delay its development and distribution, but such actions are an attempt to change the past. However, the past is like information in blockchain. It cannot be changed. Decenturion, the first blockchain state. We believe that the world is an open source area, and humanity can mold itself into whatever it wants to realize its desire for harmony, creativity, and cooperation. Decenturion has taken the best that blockchain offers and has become the first decentralized state where the economy, management, and communications are built on blockchain technologies. Currently, Decenturion is an economy with the basic instruments of direct democracy, but in the long run, it will lead to a new form of social, legal, and economic interaction between people, the first truly democratic system. The principle of this decentralization in Decenturion assumes that there is no president, chairman, or other governing body or person. In this system, everyone plays an equal role. Like the classic state, Decenturion exists thanks to activities of its citizens. But only in Decenturion the citizens are valued so much that they do not pay taxes to the state. Decenturion transfers its assets to citizens free of charge in the form of tokens that come from startups that join Decenturion. The basis of the Decenturion state. Individuals and their activities are at the heart of Decenturion. Many states claim the same, but only in Decenturion is the individual and official representative of the state. Decenturion is an environment for citizen interaction built on blockchain, and their activities were performed individually or collectively. ensure its life. That is why citizens are the only beneficiaries of Decenturion. Economic model. The economy of Decenturions is based on two forms of participation. First one is citizen, a physical resident, and the second is startup, a legal resident. Startups join Decenturion to distribute their tokens among citizens of the state, and so achieve business indicators many times greater than those in traditional ICOs. By transferring their tokens to Decenturion, a startup receives not only users but resellers and evangelists interested in implementing the startup's tokens to ensure their own prosperity. Implementation of startup tokens. When a startup enters Decenturion's internal market, its tokens are distributed among all the citizens free of charge in proportion to the amount of Decenturion tokens they own. Each citizen can either refuse their startup's tokens or accept them and place them on their trading page for sale. Tokens are put up for sale at a price determined by the citizen. The liquid cryptocurrency generated by the sale of startup tokens becomes a citizen's profit. Decenturion does not tax the profit of citizens. The estimated revenue from token implementation. In 2018, 300 startups per $50 million and shared for 600,000 Decenturion tokens. It's approximately $25,000 per Decenturion token. In 2019, 3,000 startups per $50 million shared to 6 million tokens Decenturion. It's also about $25,000 per Decenturion token. $25,000 per Decenturion token is not just GDP, but the amount of passive income, not including the growth in the token price and a project with a million users. Even in our most conservative forecasts, we plan to bring this figure close to $1 million per year in the shortest period possible. Estimated income from active participation as a civil servant. In addition to basic participation and passive income provided by the state's economy, every citizen can actively help in the development of Decenturion and earn incomparably more. State positions and corresponding multipliers to each citizen's checking account. If a citizen assumes a position that provides a 5x multiplier or becomes an accredited organization with a 10x multiplier, the tokens on his or her account begin to work 5 or 10 times more efficiently. Let's imagine a citizen has 20 Decenturion on his or her account and has received a 10x multiplier. After the startup tokens are distributed, voted for, and their reputation counted, this sum will amount to 200 Decenturion, and in additional 5 tokens with a 10x multiplier on the account will amount to 250 Decenturion. Proposed income from participation as an active citizen. One of Decenturion's regular events is the Roadshow, an event planned and conducted by the Ministry of Commerce together with the Ministry of Education. This format implies the distribution of startup tokens among visitors. Each startup transfers a minimum of $500,000 in tokens to citizens who attend to the event. Each roadshow will involve at least 10 startups. The amount of total distribution is $5 million. The total number of visitors is 200 and entrance is only via passport. Tokens are distributed in direct proportion to the amount of citizens present, which means each audience member receives $25,000 just for visiting the roadshow. This way, we can predict an increase in passport value by more than tens of thousands of dollars within a short period. Obtaining citizenship. Relations between Decenturion and the citizen are regulated through a small contract. To become a citizen of Decenturion, the user needs to activate his or her password. To do this, they must permanently block one token on their account. This reduces the number of tokens in free circulation. After activating the passport, a Decenturion citizen gets a paper copy if desired, a personal landing page in the Decenturion structure, and a manual for conducting economic activities in the external market. To become a full-fledged citizen in Decenturion, you need to register on the official site decenturion.com. The system automatically will create a personal user account and will activate it with a welcome of Decenti token. The second step is enter your personal data and order a digital and paper passport if necessary. And the third step is enter the address of your active Ethereum wallet and subsequently receive additional tokens. It's also optional. Degrees of participation. At the base level, residents become users, resellers, or evangelists of startup tokens. They will later to be able to choose other degrees of participation. Advisor. A citizen assumes the obligations proposed by advisor projects and agrees to be placed in the advisor block. He or she also agrees with putting their project in the My Projects block on their landing page. In exchange, the citizen receives tokens directly proportional to the amount allocated to the group of advisors. Startups, legal residents. Startups are the second part of Decenturion's driving force. It's a traditional economy. They are entirely dependent on the venture funds and individual investors, which often leads to their death due to inadequate funding. Blockchain has opened up opportunities for the development of crowdfunding in real time. When residents of the state finance projects, they will find more attractive. Decenturion startups needs to be accurately reflect the trends of people's interests as well as their share ideas with the citizens of Decenturion in a clear and understandable manner. Opportunities for startups. Comparison of ICO and Decenturion token launch. The standard business sequence for a startup with the classic ICO is as follows: prepare documentation, conduct an ICO, raise funds, spend them on marketing and attract users. Then the startup goes into profit and divides it among all the participants of the process from token holders to funders. Decenturion goes directly to the final step. That is, after minimal documentation preparation, a startup can immediately go into profit and focus only in business development processes. It makes no sense to conduct an ICO or raise funds and attract users. Instead, you can immediately find users and develop a project in the economy at an immeasurably greater speed. Key features of ICO and Decenturion token launch you can see on your screens. Mechanics of token distribution. The mechanics of token distribution in Decenturion ensure the domination of the most successful, wealthy, eminent, competent and educated people among its citizens. This is why Decenturion is the most efficient market for the consumption for goods and services. A startup that enters the internal market acquires millions of users, hundreds of thousands of resellers, tens of thousands of promoters, thousands of advisors, hundreds of employees. The cost of a marketing campaign with similar results can cost tens of millions of dollars, but in Decenturion's economy, startups get all this by merely distributing their tokens among citizens. To introduce the project to Decenturion's internal market, user is required to first step register the system through the site of application. Second step, add a description of the project in the system's personal account and attach the necessary documents. Third step, specify the principle of token distribution via team, users or participants such as reviewers, promoters or advisors. And fourth step, transfer the tokens to distribution to a single account on the system. After this, all citizens of Decenturion will receive startup tokens proportional to the amount of Decenturion tokens they own and will be able to transfer them to the landing page of State Reserve. Initially, all DCNT tokens are issued and allocated by the Decenturion State Reserve. The Decenturion State Reserve is the only state agency that is separate legal structure and is registered as Decenturion Foundation. The key task of the State Reserve is to allocate quotas for the distribution of DCNT tokens or passports among future citizens, among ministries and accredited organizations, as well as for acquiring assets and implementing programs that will help the state obtain sovereign status. Through voting, Decenturion citizens have identified 3 quotas for the solution of key tasks. It's the following: 10 million a quota for Georgian citizens through direct issuance of passports, 10 million a quota for development of ministers and a motivational program for accredited organizations, 10 million a quota for conducting exchange operations for assets required to obtain sovereign status, the acquisition of land, development of diplomatic missions, the opening the embassies, cooperation with states and internal organizations. Distribution model. The issuance of passports and the distribution of tokens which occur before August 1st, 2018 was free of charge. Now it's not free of charge. Community invite all those who wish to register at Decenturion.com to add their external Ethereum wallet address with a possible balance and participate in the distribution of the first tokens. DCNT tokens are added to users' accounts in direct proportion to personal volume of Ethereums. And after August 1st, the average amount of tokens per account will be about 2 DCNTs, and each of which can be turned into a passport when activated. Monetary contribution to the development of the Decenturion state. After August 1st, 2018, there are no free tokens, but they can still be exchanged for contributions to the development of the state in the form of money, time or resources. 10 million tokens allocated to the first quota will be distributed at a rate by 100,000 per month. This time the participation model for token distribution will be partially adjusted. The State Reserve will keep allocating about 100,000 tokens per month. Labor contribution to the development of the Decenturion state. Today 10 ministries for first wave have been established. They are the following: Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Industry, Work with Startups, Ministry of Information, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Administrative Affairs, such as software development, technical support, printing of documents, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Finance, State Reserve, Ministry of Justice, and General Assembly, lawmaking. Each ministry has quotas for accredited organizations from 250 to 1,500 accredited organizations, advisors and experts. A quota of 100,000 DCNTs per month is allocated for ministers and motivational programs for accredited organizations. Tokens are allocated as remuneration with the quota and only when the goals set have been reached. In addition to the tokens themselves, all departments are supplied with multipliers. Quota distribution among ministries of all 5 waves. Quotas are distributed evenly among ministries of the first wave, meaning each of the 10 ministries receives 10% of the quota. Ministries of the second wave will receive a quota that is half that of the first wave ministries. Ministries of the third wave will receive a quota half that of the second wave ministries, and so on and so forth. In total, the waves of ministry emergence are planned. Each wave will have 10 ministries. Thanks to the received quota, the ministry in turn builds a motivation program for accredited organizations. The quantitative quota for attracting media is 250 organizations. So the quota is tokens is 10,000 a month. The ministry allocates tokens for media involved in KPI implementation. The principle of management and hierarchy. All ministries are initiated by proposing the corresponding draft laws, which are approved by voting of citizens. The citizens approve the structure of the ministers, the motivational program, and the KPI. Ministers are nominated from citizens and appointed by citizens through voting. Ministers involve organizations and conduct their accreditation. Ministers take control over KPI implementation and the allocation of the motivational tokens for organization development. Citizens monitor the work of ministers and same ministers. Contribution of resources to the development of Decenturion. Apart from the ensuring economic development, lawmaking, and popularity growth, the state sets the task of realizing its potential on the international arena. This range of tasks includes the opening of bank accounts for citizens of Decenturion in the banks of friendly states, the legalization of a visa-free regime for all holders of Decenturion passports, as well as obtaining the status of independent state. The solution of the range of issues described requests serious investments in the organization of diplomatic missions, the opening of embassies, as well as in the acquisition of land and alienation of Decenturion state and status of independence. No more than 200,000 tokens will be distributed monthly in this mission. At the same time, at least half of this amount will be allocated to ministry accounts, and accredited organizations have significant multipliers. As a result, the appearance of Decenturion tokens from the second quarter of the open market will be insignificant. Basic rights. When a passport is activated, one Decenturion token is registered on the citizen's account. A user can own any number of inactivated tokens within the emission. The possession of Decenturion tokens gives each citizen a proprietary right of ownership in the state. Every Decenturion citizen has the following rights: the right to receive free startup tokens in proportion to the volume of Decenturion tokens their possession, the right to distribute the startup tokens, the right to distribute Decenturion tokens and attract new citizens. This way, Decenturion provides its citizens with complete state ownership, management, and control for propaganda. Money. All income in the form of startup tokens admitted to internal market. Power. The total amount of power comes from the admission of new residents and new projects. Glory. All informational and promotional support of Decenturion. Prospects. At the current stage, citizens can receive tokens passively through an account or actively at events where Decenturion passport is a prerequisite for participation. Citizens also have the opportunity to issue bills, amend them, vote, hold public office, receive status and accreditation. Citizens also have the right to publish information about Decenturion, thus gaining popularity as an author and expanding their audience. At the second stage, Decenturion negotiates with the existing states to open accounts for its citizens. This will allow them to sell startup tokens not only for cryptocurrency but also for debt funds through the processing of credit cards, PayPal, bank transfers, and other payment methods. It is expected that at the end of negotiation process, Decenturion passports will have legal status of the territory of allies. In prospect, it's planned that Decenturion passports will provide the owners with visa-free entry. At the third stage, Decenturion is actively working to acquire sovereign status. After current independent state recognize the independence of the state, Decenturion has plans to join the United Nations as a sovereign state. We believe that the Decenturion will provide people with the best opportunities to realize their natural desire and harmony, creativity and interaction.
So guys, if you are interested, you can also join the community and to get a Decenturion passport and become a Decenturion citizen. And if you are really interested, you can feel free to write me on all the social media indicated near in the show notes. Also special link to register to Decenturion and to study what is it, you can find also in the show notes. And I wish you all the best and see you later. Bye.